From the Schmoes No Network Studios in Los Angeles, California, it's time for Jedi Alliance, where we celebrate the greatest saga ever told. And now, here are your hosts, Master Kenobi Cadnapsock and the young Padawan, Maude Garrett.
Hello, Schmoeville. Welcome to Jedi Alliance. As Master Kenobi said, it is the greatest saga ever told and a celebration of everything that's in it, whether it be the movies, the prequels, the comics, the computer games, and the trivia involved.
You forced that out of your mouth with a prequel talk, and I love it. I respect you for doing it.
I went through it again. I saw the movies.
You did. I watched Attack of the Clones this weekend just because. Ooh, just because. I'm crazy like that.
There's so much you can do.
There is a lot.
In life.
You can get out and get fresh air, or you can watch Attack of the Clones. I truly, deeply love you. That's right. It is Jedi Alliance, and we have a lot of fun. We got a great show today. We had a fun show last week with Yodi Mark Riley, the editor-in-chief from schmoesknow.com. We had a great spirited debate and Duel of the Fates that affected some fans.
Yeah, we really threw a spanner in the works. Oh, wait, do Americans say that?
I don't know.
I'm saying that. Every Australian is like, I'm with you, girl, Sheila. Yeah, we really kind of shook things up a bit by wondering if you think that Han or Lando should have died in episode 6, or both, or neither.
Yeah, we got a lot of bolts, we got a lot of neiters. We'll go into it later, but
Star Wars!
Damn it! Already?
Yes.
You hit me now? Yes. So I don't even get the help of the guest. No. Whoa, that is strategy on your part. All right, let's go. Can we get 2 minutes on a timer? 2 minutes on a timer and out there.
I got it. I got you.
Okay, ready? I'm gonna pick. I'm not even. You know what? I kind of looked at those questions. Okay. I'm gonna pick again here.
You're a good man.
I have a decent heart, even though I'm a Sith. All right.
And your time starts now.
Go for it.
What character barks at the mere mention of food?
Chewbacca.
Yes. Who discovered 2 wrecked Imperial speeder bikes while searching for Leia on Endor?
Luke Skywalker.
Yes. What movie does the Emperor first appear in?
Empire Strikes Back.
Yes.
Visually, yes.
What planet was R2-D2 on when he was obliged to eject a stream of muddy water from one of his dome ports?
Dagobah.
This is killing me, yes. How many legs does a power droid boast?
A power droid?
Yes.
Uh-oh. I got some time. I got my 2-minute timer. I got that.
You've got so much time.
A power droid. 2 legs?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And who is the first character to say, "May the Force be with you" in Empire Strikes Back?
Oh, in Empire. I was going to say General Jan Dodonna in Star Wars, but in Empire Strikes Back.
Eric actually mentioned that a lot when we were doing the debate.
I'm going to say General Raikan.
I'm gonna say no. It was Luke Skywalker. 5 out of 6, Master Kenobi.
Okay, so that puts my score up to 37. 37.
Under 60 seconds, can I just say?
Okay, that was tough. That was intense. That was a nice strategy, young Padawan.
So to throw you off a little bit, need all the advantages I can get.
I'm worried that you are now becoming the master.
As if.
Well, let's go ahead and bring up the guest that couldn't help me because of your strategy here.
Sorry.
He is a very successful YouTube movie reviewer. He has over 160,000 subscribers and growing. He's also a filmmaker, a writer, a great guy. I just had him on my own podcast, the Knapsack Files. He's here visiting Schmoeville all week. Please welcome Chris Stuckmann.
Woo! Hey!
Hello, everybody.
I love this. You are on a whirlwind press tour of everything Schmoeville.
I am going to be schmoed out by the end of the week.
Hey, a lot of people are.
But you just turned into a schmoho.
Ooh.
Oh, I went there.
So happy to have you here, buddy, because you review movies. You're like I said, a film writer and screenwriter yourself, a filmmaker. You're also a big Star Wars fan.
Absolutely. I mean, grew up with it. It's part of me. Like it actually feels like an appendage of some kind.
Are you Force sensitive now?
Right there.
And
he found my spot.
You were telling us, oh, I'm good at that. You were telling us off air that you recently were married, and there's some highlights of that wedding that made us happy.
Yes.
Yes, I walked out to the Throne Room song from episode 4, also known as Star Wars, not A New Hope. And yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was. I didn't tell my dad what I was going to do. I handed my mother and my sister both a bouquet of flowers.
And it was really a lightsaber. No.
My dad got a lightsaber.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
And his dad didn't know.
My dad didn't know. No, he didn't know anything. He was there with his camera, and he was actually turned around waiting for my now wife to come out, and I was like, Dad, Dad, and he was like, huh? And I handed him a lightsaber, and I could see like tears.
That is awesome.
And if you knew my father, to see him cry, it was some sort of fantasy.
Was he crying over the lightsaber, or you getting married?
I think he was crying because he realized that that his son's a humongous nerd.
That's a
that
good
you could
thing.
hold a lightsaber whilst watching you get married.
Yeah.
That is the ultimate tear-jerking moment
Exactly.
anyone could have. That's fantastic.
That's quite a wedding to have. Now, on the day that you get married, Master Young, well, kind
I
of
will
Master,
be. I
young,
will be
young
master
Padawan.
by then.
You gonna dress up as like Amidala? What are you gonna do? Some Gungan tribal wear? What do you got?
Princess
Can we just start by trying to get a date first before we talk about marriage? Because I think that's a little far-fetched.
Fingers
To send
crossed
your
for,
date offers, just reply on our Facebook page. By the way, check out our Facebook page, Jedi Alliance on the Schmoeville Network, and join the conversation and tell us how much you want to be in Chris's wedding.
Fingers crossed for Princess Leia's slave outfit.
That's a good
I was
wedding.
actually, because I've got the Triforce tattoo on this finger, I kind of want the wedding ring to match. So I want,
Okay.
I want the It's Dangerous to Go Alone.
a
Take this, and it's on engagement ring.
Starting to see where the problems start. You are a big Star Wars fan, as we have stated.
Yes.
So let's get into the 5 most important Star Wars questions, the top 5 questions. Go for it.
Tell us about your first time watching the movies.
My parents introduced me by showing me the VHS tapes of them, because that's the technology that I grew up with, was the VHS tapes, the original, no special editions, just the actual films with the little white boxes around the TIE fighters and all the little things that were later removed because apparently that's not cool to have
When the
that.
snow speeder goes through the walker.
right, exactly. Yeah, when Obi-Wan's little blade's like and it's like a little wisp, like you can't get that in the new ones because they added all these little cool
Fancy stuff.
Yeah, definitely it impacted me immensely, and not just because I was like, this is so cool, all ships. It made my imagination explode.
Yeah.
And it's one of the reasons I think why I started writing and why I made short films as a teenager, is because my imagination was propelled by these creatures, the worlds, the design of everything, the look, but not just that, not just the aesthetic stuff, but the story. It's such a timeless story, and there's so many metaphors and stuff hidden throughout Star Wars to ancient stuff and biblical things and everything. But it's the story that made me so inspired as a kid to want to learn more about not just the expanded universe of Star Wars, but the idea of how does one make a film like that? How does one create shots like that? How did he make it look so real with these little things that were going like this across a blue screen? How did that happen?
How do you make actors go faster and more intense?
Exactly, because that was George Lucas's fantastic direction.
How old were you, when you watched them for the first
I
time?
would probably wager a guess that I was 4 or 5.
Wow, that was early.
Taking notes at 4.
Yeah. I was like, the blood from the hand was really cool when he cut off the arm.
It's funny that you mentioned that. Someone linked on Facebook using that hashtag, Twitter using the hashtag Jedi Alliance, a compilation of young children watching Empire Strikes Back and their parents filming their reaction when you hear, I am your father.
Yeah.
And you see them go, really? It's so sweet. I can just imagine you doing that exact thing.
I wish that I could remember, because at some point that was what it was.
Yeah. Right.
I don't remember my first, it wasn't like a sixth sense
I wish our
moment.
parents would exploit us with technology and then project it out to the world just for our reactions.
I wish my parents were filming me with a gigantic shoulder VHS camera.
Pressed into the VCR, you had to press record at the same time.
Exactly.
That's how I learned video production. Can you name your favorite movie? I'm hoping you're the first one to like Phantom Menace. No.
No, sorry.
No.
I did when I was 11.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I was in denial.
Sure.
The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay, so you're an Empire guy.
It's been Empire Strikes Back, and to me, whenever someone for a while they were like, "What's your favorite Star Wars movie?" It was like, "What's your favorite parent?" I don't know.
It's true.
But Empire, as I got older, it was very mature, and it took the characters in a very risky direction. Because I remember when my dad was talking to me, he saw Star Wars in theaters like 8 times with my mom, and it was like a big date thing for them, and it was a staple throughout their relationship, which is why I wanted to include it in my wedding too, because it is with my wife. But when they saw Empire Strikes Back, my dad was like, we were all completely shocked. Like when the father thing happened, they were floored.
Yeah.
Like no one, it was completely unpredictable. And my dad was like, a lot of people didn't know what to think about it at first. A lot of people for a while were like, I don't know, it wasn't as fun. It was sad. Because like when I grew up, I could go, okay, Empire Strikes Back ended, let's put in Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
My dad had to wait 3 years.
Yeah.
He's like, what the fuck? Where's Luke? Can I say that?
No.
We just did.
I apologize.
Good.
It's okay.
It's good.
It's okay.
Next question is favorite character. Out of all the characters, which one is your favorite?
Han Solo.
I'm a
Why
Han
do you
guy
say
too.
that
Begrudgingly?
begrudgingly?
Not begrudgingly. It's called Han Solo. It's my crush voice.
Oh, you're crushing right now.
I love Han Solo. Han Solo is just
Begrudging.
it's not. I mean, part of it is that I love Indiana Jones so much.
Yeah, me too.
yeah.
And to see, it's like I can see Indiana Jones and Han Solo, and it's the same man. It's like I don't know what's going on.
One is a whip and one is a blaster.
Yeah, I'd like to meet him.
How many drinks
Yeah.
how many Jawa juices at the bar would you need to consume to have fun times with Harrison Ford? Because it sounds like
Intercourse?
you are broning so hard. You have a broner.
None. I it's not like that at all. It really is just like a mad level
I'm
of
thinking
respect.
2. I'm going 2. It's okay.
A half a glass.
And I'm good.
No,
You want a Jawa juice? 2. That's all I need.
It's just a mad level of respect. I always was intrigued by the character. His introduction in the original film with Greedo and the bar was just amazing. He flips the coin, you know. It's just,
I love how
right.
he's just lounged with his leg up and he's just kind of
Right.
fiddling
Right.
with the wall, and he's so nonchalant about this like fact that he's about to die.
It's literally perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
You bring up a good point. Sorry for the mess. Flipping the coin
Yeah.
may be the best part of that sequence because
Yeah.
it's the punctuation
God,
mark
I wish
on
I was
that.
a guy. I would use that so inappropriately throughout my life. Just flip a coin.
Sorry for the mess.
Oh, that is why I'm single.
I'm so sorry, guys. I went on between the sheets and now I'm just
Oh,
like...
this is it.
Yeah.
You've turned the corner.
I've opened a door that I cannot shut.
If you had, Mr. Stuckmann, a force power, what force power would you choose to use?
Probably, I would love to levitate because in a way, like I could, like if I use the Force to allow me to fly, basically.
Can you do that though? Has anyone done that in the expanded universe? Because someone was saying this about, using telepathy in a way.
Yeah. I'm trying.
Wait,
in the video
that's
game,
not what I'm talking about.
Force
What's the-
Unleashed. Don't you kind of fly and Force Unleashed a
Yeah.
little bit?
It's,
Yeah.
it's more of like an extended jump.
It is,
Yeah.
but I mean that's what levitation is.
It's a Mario Brothers double jump.
Yeah.
It's like having little jetpacks on your feet.
So you want to use it to get to higher places in
I
life?
just want to fly.
Okay, that's good. That's fair.
Can I say that?
That you can say.
Can I invent that
Yeah.
force power?
Yes,
Okay.
but you have to be Watto or
Yeah.
that race because
Yeah.
they have the wings and they
God.
don't walk.
I can't.
Yeah,
I don't want
that's
to be
the
Watto.
condition.
I'm a Toydarian. All right.
Not bad. Not bad.
We're working
His
on it.
mother.
Favorite Star Wars quotes?
Jeez. Oh,
That's not
man.
That's not maybe an extended universe quote. But
Yeah,
no.
sorry. There's so many.
Yeah.
There's so many.
What one do you use most in conversation?
Do or do not, there is no try.
I like that.
That's the
Philosophy.
one. My dad actually
a
raised
deep
me
man.
on Star Wars quotes. He really did. Like he would like if I was a kid and I did something wrong and I said I apologize or I'm sorry, he'd be like apology accepted, Captain Nita. And my dad would do that kind of stuff all the time. If he asked me to do something that was strenuous or difficult, I would say I'll try. No, do or do not, or no try. So I think that's the one that actually stuck with me. Or
And it's true.
anything Yoda says basically in Empire Strikes Back when Luke is like, I don't believe it, and he's like, that is why you fail. It's like the most epic diss
deep
of all
stuff.
time. You can't
Philosophy books have
cannot
been written
insult
about
someone worse.
Yeah.
The last question that we have. What does that even say again?
Oh, that's my horrible writing. But it's about turning.
Oh, Tums. Do you have Tums?
That's not the question.
Would you turn to the dark side?
No.
Ah.
We got a goody two shoes like you over here.
Yeah,
I'm
sorry.
surrounded by goody two shoes.
I apologize, Kim.
I have joined the Empire.
The Empire is extra evil with 100% dark side.
Everyone in the Empire dies.
You don't know that.
You choosing to die.
Bonus question: who's your favorite Imperial officer? I'm just throwing him a wrinkle in.
These are hard, man.
It's not hard.
Admiral Piet.
Admiral Piet's a good answer. Good answer. Captain Piet promoted on the fly. Brave man died in the Death Star battle.
I see what's going on here. There is a little bit of a war. This is like the who's got the bigger lightsaber right now. It's the how much do you know?
Okay, well, here's which one of us hosts a Star Wars podcast? This guy. He knows. He obviously knows. He obviously has a deeper knowledge of the subject.
Maybe. I'm afraid of this one's knowledge getting too high and overtaking me.
Oh, don't worry about that. Trust me.
Yeah. Well, great. You've answered the 6 most important Star Wars questions, Chris Stuckmann, and we appreciate you coming on and sharing your love with us. Now it's time to move on to our segment called Renewed Hope, which is This Week in Star Wars News with Queen Amidala as she addresses her people.
Thank you, Master Kenobi, and hello, Master Chris Stuckmann. Okay, am I losing it? I think I've got no idea anymore what she sounds like, and I don't want to watch the movies again to find out.
Dull, monotone, absolutely no charisma.
I can do that. Number 1. There are drawings from the Lucasfilm Sidewalk Festival that may be the coolest thing you see today. So what is this? I didn't even know that this existed, but apparently employees from Lucasfilm, ILM, and other tenants from the Letterman Digital Arts Center in San Fran do this little thing called the Lucasfilm Sidewalk Festival, and it happened over the weekend. It's so cool. They team up in 2s or 4s, and they compete against each other to get out the chalk and draw these gorgeous artwork on the pavement, and then it gets judged, and there's a winner. Now, some of these that I've these are my personal favorites. We've got one which is Calvin and Hoth. And you can see an AT-AT. Yes, that's right. I said AT-AT and I meant it. Yeah. Of Calvin and what is it? Calvin and Hobbes.
Calvin and Hobbes, yeah.
They're taking down the AT-AT on Hoth. I like that one. You've got a lovely little version of Darth Vader as Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Which I think is pretty cool.
That's awesome.
Now, for all the Frozen fans out there with Disney, I like this Disney fusion. It is hashtag always let the Wampa win. And you've got the little dude from. Have you guys seen Frozen?
I have not. I'm an adult. I'm an adult male.
Let it go. Yeah, that's what he's trying to say about his arm.
I'm pretty sure that's a song from the movie.
Yeah,
I may have heard it.
He's got his arms ripped off.
That's it.
I may have heard it once or twice.
And my personal favorite is the 7-year Sith with the Emperor standing over a subway grate, trying to hold down his robes.
I love that one. That's disturbing on many levels.
I think that's fantastic.
Wow. And just for the record, I don't say at either.
You say AT-AT?
Yes.
Okay, Stuckmann, you can leave. There's a door there. You just turn the lock and you're gone.
This is great.
Again, it's generational.
Did you read the tweet hashtag Jedi Alliance where an ad came out for a new toy?
I know.
And they say AT-AT on it.
I know. It's horrible.
That makes it official.
What is this world coming to?
The truth.
Yeah.
It seems.
Yeah.
All right, story number 2. Leaked images of the Lego range for upcoming Star Wars Rebels and Episode 7 show insight into new characters. First and foremost, we have discovered images because the internet loves to capture things forever.
Yeah.
And these images look pretty sweet. They are stamped. Oh, they're supposed to be the new Lego gear for Rebels, which is yet to premiere. But I'm guessing once it does, they'll be on the shelves pretty quickly.
Yeah.
The first one that you can see is I thought it was an AT-ST, but it turns out it is hold on, I've got to get this right, all-terrain defense pod. A defense pod.
An ATDP. Okay. Wow.
That's a tongue twister. You go around spitting on people. Yeah. I'm making a point. So in this has some Imperials, and then you've got another one which is Ezra, which is of course like the lead protagonist out of Star Wars Rebels. There's a stormtrooper there and an unidentified character, and you've got 2 speeder bikes. So this is obviously with the whole Star Wars Rebel, and there's a double-length feature episode called The Spark of the Rebellion, which we think this is from. But then there's a third picture, and I love how they're all stamped with confidential, do not copy, do not distribute.
Do not put on internet, too late.
I think this is what makes it a little bit authentic, though. So this is what could be the new Stormtrooper for Episode 7. Now, Latino Review kind of brought this to mention, and we think that they're on the right track here because these guys look badass. You've got a Stormtrooper that is grey. And apparently this means that his armor is high-tech, he's got better weapons, and he's got more experience. So
kind of like a Dark Trooper or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, right. And then you've got what can only... The Force Unleashed had the Shadow Troopers.
Yeah.
Shadow Troopers, write that down. And then there's the Shadow Guard as well, but there's also... You can see this dark, really, really dark guy This is. I'll show you the picture to make it easier for everyone else. This dude, he's kind of like Darth Maul with a helmet on because he's got that same sort of designed saber. Apparently, these guys, they're affectionately known as the Chrome Trooper.
Chrome Trooper.
Yeah.
Chrome Trooper.
Which are rumored to be the
Google Chrome Trooper. All right.
I know. There is some great marketing happening here. But these Chrome Troopers are supposed to be the new villain for episode 7.
Love it.
Apparently. Cool. So what do you guys think of these finds?
That's awesome. I love the Calvin and Hobbes thing. I love that. That's a great crossover. I really love crossover stuff. I get a lot of shirts from the Schmoes are always with Ripped Apparel.
Ripped Apparel, yeah.
They do like the greatest crossovers. And
absolutely.
I just ordered one, actually, a Star Wars crossover. It was Drive and Star Wars. It said Rebel with the Drive font and had Han on it. Anyway, those are awesome. I love the idea of the... if they're real, like I'm always very skeptical about this kind of stuff.
Sure.
And so, but I do like the idea of new all-terrain things, and obviously I love the fact that they're having tangible, inexistent helmets, like in existence. They're not just a whole bunch of CGI clone people running around.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Legos, as you know, and a big fan of Star Wars Legos. Well, you've seen my house; they're everywhere in my house. Probably too much for an adult male, but I love those covers. That the stuff looks good, and those Chrome Troopers got me a little geeked up.
Have you seen the picture of the artist version of it? So there's a red visor, much like the Cylons in Battlestar Galactica.
Well, it's very reminiscent of the Emperor's Royal Guard.
Yeah, but instead of in red and robes, this guy looks like he's about to kick some serious ass.
He really does.
And because they're force sensitive, he's got like a saber blade, which means he would have a much higher chance of fighting off Jedi than, say, the Shadow Troopers.
And I love those, I go back again to the prequels. I'm not trying to prequel bash them, but Grievous's number 2 and 3 robots, those guys, and they had those little sticks that were lightsaber resistant. I actually kind of like those design, but again, they're all droids, and so they're just kind of fodder. Those guys are real working humans in there that would, or humanoid, as we would say. Maybe some are alien.
It's like
I don't know.
Not quite Sith because they don't have enough.
But they look very
midichlorians,
Sithy.
I guess. Yeah, they look great.
They look intimidating.
I wouldn't be upset if that popped up in episode 7.
Would not be at all. I'm excited. I got to be honest.
That's
I'm
awesome.
going to go home and play with my toys and reenact some
not
scenes.
a euphemism. That is a literal thing that he is
no,
saying.
I mean, I've got my Star Wars toys to play with. That's great. I'm excited about this. That's great news. And I'm going to be running out and buying those Legos as soon as humanly possible.
Well, I think it's kind of funny that that's the biggest push now. It's when the movie comes out, you will buy one of everything that they have on offer, and they have to do pre-production with this as well. Whereas when the first Star Wars movies came out, there was just nothing. At all.
And then they sold out so quick, you bought a box that said, send in your postage stamps and you'll get a toy in 3-4 months. Dark times back then. Dark times, children.
Lego's going to take over the world when you think about it. If they can make a movie called The Lego Movie, and it's a giant advertisement, and people still love it, like Lego can't do anything wrong.
Absolutely. So that's great. Is that all we have in Renewed Hope? I mean, all we have, that's a lot of stuff, and that's very cool. I'm very excited.
Thank you. That is all for now.
Queen Amidala has addressed her people. I will not watch my people suffer. That's great. So now we're going to move on to, Star Paws.
Okay.
That's the best reaction you've had yet. I'm going to set my clock here, and you pick. And Chris is going to be in your corner, even though you're across the room.
I will be a mute. And
am I like a phone a friend type of thing?
Yes.
No, you are. Yeah.
No, I'm going to stare at you while you answer the question.
Yeah,
gotcha.
That's good. You're at 27, and I'm up to 35. So let's go. You have
just
2.
check that is a new one.
It is. It is. Who does Darth Vader inform? I'm altering the deal. Pray I don't alter it any further.
Who tells Darth Vader that?
No, who did Vader tell?
Oh, Vader. That sounds like it's from Star Wars, A New Hope. And it sounds like, who was still alive on that one? It was
Lando.
You should probably go with that answer. Yeah, Lando Calrissian.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding. 1. Who is the first rebel to be felled by the paralyzing ray of a blaster stun? Who is the first rebel to be felled by the paralyzing ray of the blaster sun?
When you say rebel, does that mean it's not an actual person? So it could be a droid?
I'll say it's a person. I'll help you and say it's a person.
Oh, okay. Chris!
To me, I thought it was just like a rebel trooper that, like, from the opening scene where they're running down the hallway.
By a paralyzing ray of a blaster on stun.
Leia.
Leia!
That is right. You're very happy that Stuckmann flew off from Ohio today. Who nodded respectfully to the disguised Princess Leia following her successful bounty negotiations with Jabba?
I want to say Lando. Am I right, Chris?
Yeah.
Lando Calrissian?
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Oh, you're right. You're right. He does. You're absolutely right.
Bounty hunter to bounty hunter.
You're absolutely
When
right.
Bosch,
Oh, no.
Princess Leia is
That
Bosch.
scene is so great too.
It's a great.
It's so
Because
awesome.
he's holding a thermal detonator. All right, minute 20. What planet did Luke assure R2-D2 was perfectly safe for droids?
Hold on, one more time.
What planet did Luke assure R2-D2 was perfectly safe for droids?
The only planet that they went to together, I'm guessing Dagobah.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
great.
How many horns protruded from the heads of Jabba's Gamorrean guards?
Not from, is that including the move?
No, from the heads.
2.
That's it. 2. What major character died by falling down a core shaft?
What's a core shaft? Oh, yeah. What major character? Emperor Palpatine.
That is right. So, what you scored 5, right? Counting it up here.
5 as well.
5 out of 5. 5 out of 6.
6.
5 out of 6. All right.
So we didn't actually close the gap at all.
35-32. Still moving up, but good answers. Good answers. Good job.
Is there really only 3 between us?
Yeah.
Wow.
No. It's a 35-32. Oh, wait.
You're 37.
37.
30. That sounds
32.
about right.
As we've proven before, we're
can't do
we're not
maths.
good at mathematics. We have to allow our Jedi Alliance Instagram fan page to track this.
And make sure you follow them on Instagram. Just look
Yep.
up Jedi Alliance.
That's right. They do a great job keeping track of what our scores.
I think,
Thank you.
I think we should start a Star Wars charades. Is what we're actually.
You didn't see it, but he was incredible.
Trying to avoid it.
I'm so glad that everyone else could see that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'd be like, what? And he'd be like,
For those on iTunes, it was a furious reenactment. I did see some Emperor fingers going
Yeah,
on.
there was a little bit of the good in the background.
You should pay for his air flight ticket back to Ohio.
pretty much.
Too bad it's already been paid for.
All right, now it is time for Duel of the Fates, our weekly debate segment where we throw 2 things from the universe, for the Star Wars universe, for you to debate. We'll set it first, and then you can join the conversation on Facebook.
Yes. Now, last week we actually put the fate in Duel of the Fates, and we decided, what if the fates of our heroes Han Solo and Lando Calrissian were met by death in Episode 6? And we put it out to you. Do you think Han should have died? Do you think Lando should have died? Should both of them have perished? Or neither? Now, Chris,
Yeah.
I want to throw it over to you just to quickly weigh in on this. Do you think that Episode 6 would have had a darker tone and more of a kind of finishing solution instead of happy Ewoks dancing? Should have Han Solo perished or Lando and... So anyway, makes me violent. Should they have gone down with the Millennium Falcon?
Yes, it would have been darker. You're right.
Yeah.
That being said, though, Han Solo.
Again with the burner.
2 drinks, he's in.
Bromance. I should call it just bromance.
The thing about it is I know that Harrison Ford, I'm sure you guys know, wanted the character to perish.
We
And
talked about that, yeah.
Lucas said, no, I don't like that. And he stayed in the movie, much to Han Solo's or Harrison Ford's anger. But that being said, now he's in Episode 7, so yay.
Right.
Yeah. To die all over again, possibly.
Possibly, and maybe break a leg.
Yeah.
Lando, yeah, he could die, I guess.
And they had prepared for him too, as we talked about last week. That's kind of sparked this debate. So you would pick Lando? Is that your vote?
If I had to pick between Solo and Lando, of course.
But
Lando.
you can also choose no or neither.
I like Lando.
Okay.
I like him. And I like him. I do. I mean, he's cool. He's a cool character because he has 2 different sides. He's a compelling character because he shows up. You think he's a villain at first.
Lando.
Yeah.
You think he's a villain at first. He's not a villain. He's trying to figure out a way to help his friends in the worst way. And I like that about his character. He's not just the guy who's evil and like he actually is trying to, in a very complicated way, help his friends. And so I like the fact that they're alive. I don't care. Give me my happy ending. I like
Okay.
that.
Yep. Each up. Yep. Dim, dim, That's what he's going for.
A lot of people agreed with
Yep.
neither. In fact, they were a little bit upset that we even posed this question to begin with. A lot of people are like, how can you do this? I'm actually a bit
Emotionally
teary.
scarred, some
Yes.
people were.
Sacrilege.
I think it was a fair question to ask because the producers of the film asked the question.
That's it, and this is what we do. We cover everything in Star Wars,
Yeah.
including possibly bad decisions.
So what were the results? What was the final tally?
17 votes for Han dying.
That's a lot.
13 saying Lando should have died. So more Hans than Landos,
Yeah.
meeting their fate. 2 people said both. You heartless people. And 27 said neither. So that's 10 more than the next highest vote. And one random person said, you know what? Luke should have died.
Yeah, that person, Bertrand Shailene, if I'm saying that right, said, yeah, I know, everyone's going to be like, what? But hear my point. At the end of episode 5, Ben says, this boy is our only hope, to which Yoda replies, no, there is another one. In my humble opinion, he meant Leia, so there it is, which I think most would agree. So there it is. Have Luke sacrifice himself to save his father and his side at the bonfire, thus leaving Leia with no choice but to accept her own, unknown to her 30 minutes prior in the movie, her Jedi legacy. So an unexpected end, all girl power, he for she on that one. So,
but we're going to read out your comments for what you thought. Neither. We've got Charlie Davis saying, look, you know what, neither, thank God Lucas overruled Kasdan, who's the producer. As a child, I needed to believe that Han Solo lived and that he would continue to pilot the Millennium Falcon. I get that. We've got Roman saying Han should have died. It would have added a huge twist on the greatest saga ever told. The audience would have cared more for the death of one of the best characters in the entire galaxy. What do you think about that?
And Ralph Peter Dename said, Lando's sacrifice would have made the film more dramatic and possibly better. Also, Han cracking a joke about Lando destroying the Death Star and keeping the Millennium Falcon himself would have worked. And I think that's actually kind of funny. That's something Han
describes their friendship in one. And both, believe it or not, we've got Paul Bothick saying, what if both of them died? And maybe through their sacrifice, the Force was like, okay, you guys can come back. And they showed up as Force ghosts with the rest of them. Because if Hayden Christensen can get in there, why not a dancing Lando?
Very nice.
I like David Badrov brings up the great point that neither should have died. Vader's a big death at the end, and I think I saw that a few times. That no, we didn't need them. The big death was Darth Vader.
Right.
Yeah, don't take it away from him.
Is the 6-movie arc.
You know what? I completely agree with that, and that's why I think it works, because it's such a powerful thing that he just it's the whole like you said, it's the arc of his character, it's the arc of the balancing of the Force and all that, and so the fact that if Lando would have then died, it would have either have taken away from the power of his death, or taken it away from Vader's death. Same with Han Solo. If Solo had died, and it would have made that moment less memorable.
I agree, and I was thinking Han should have died, and that kind of, I get it. Vader, that's a good answer. The Vader was the death we needed as fans.
There's some good left in him.
So let's go on to this week. This is a big topic that I think we've been waiting to put out there.
Yeah.
And it's a doozy.
This is the one I've put forward to the point where I actually don't know yet, so I want us to all kind of weigh in pros and cons, and then I will make up my mind.
That sounds fair.
I'm going to ask the same for you guys, and it will be up on the Facebook page directly after the show, so we can immediately vent and comment on it. Who was the better assassin? Was it Darth Maul or Boba Fett?
That's right. Now, we went back and forth. Is it assassin? Is it bounty hunter? That's not Maul and everything. But assassin, Boba Fett's an assassin because
he is. His
part of that
job
bounty,
is to kill people.
Part of that, not just capture. So Boba Fett versus Darth Maul. These are perhaps two of the biggest cult characters in the franchise. Stuckmann, I'm going to put it to you first.
Well, I mean, obviously you're going to have one character that has decades longer of more impact on people
to draw from, sure.
And Boba Fett. When I grew up, I think the most intriguing thing about him was that you never saw his face. He was so cool. He said a couple things. He wasn't voiced by somebody who dubbed him over, and anyway, and I loved the Boba because he was like the one who was smart enough to catch Han Solo. He stuck to the ship. He went out with the trash, and he followed him. And of course like you said, that great scene, which I unfortunately forgot happened before Lando nods to Leia, where he just goes like, he's just like, you're a bounty hunter too. I like you. I understand you. And the thing though is Darth Maul as a character, I think the reason why most people think he is the best part of Phantom Menace is because he doesn't have any dialogue.
Generally, yeah.
He has no dialogue to read, except, my trees work around, we'll find them quickly, master. Last will have revenge.
Well, you just acted better than what happened in the movie.
Thank you so much.
I can't actually take that right now.
Thank you so much. And of course, Ray Park did all of his own stunts. He was totally awesome. He
was great.
The double-bladed lightsaber.
Seminal moment in Star Wars.
Coolest thing ever. And to this day, like, I love the Phantom Menace lightsaber battle. I think it's fantastic. Terrific stunt work.
Because of Duel of the Fates, the music though.
Which I got to hear live. John Williams came to where I live at the Blossom Music Center, and I got to hear him perform that live. It was amazing. But the lightsaber battle, the stunt work, Ewan McGregor just threw himself into that, so that made the character even cooler. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to honestly. I might get hate for this. I feel like Darth Maul is a cooler. He's got more. He's at an epic scene. Boba Fett doesn't have one epic scene.
Okay.
He's just a cool character, but he never comes in and does anything. You know.
I agree with that. Here, the Boba Fett. If we talked about if we put the question out, who's the more cult favorite character? Boba Fett would have won hands down. Even
For all the
though
Aussies, Boba Fett. What?
Boba Fett. Fett is smart. He's intelligent. That whole thing in the trash chute at the Empire. He is ahead of the game. He captured Han Solo, one of the biggest scoundrels in the galaxy. But if we're asking better assassin, Darth Maul killed Qui-Gon Jinn, one of the most powerful Jedis.
Yep.
And if you read some of the expanded universe stuff or see Clone Wars, Maul's pretty powerful. Yep. I'm going Darth Maul.
Okay. All right. I like that Boba Fett doesn't answer to anyone. Yes, he takes hits and he'll, accept sort of missions or death.
Yeah.
What are they called?
Warrants for death.
That'll do.
Works for me.
Bounties.
He is a bounty hunter.
Does he hunt bounties?
Yeah. Bounty.
Get out. That's the word I was looking for. I've been playing a lot of Destiny, okay?
Gotcha.
Yeah, I understand.
Gotcha.
Same bounties. So I like that he doesn't answer to anyone and he's clever. And, they did build the whole of the clones on his father. So genetically, he's perfect.
Gotcha.
And I dig that. I respect it. He doesn't have the Force.
Gotcha.
And Darth Maul, he was trained by Emperor Palpatine not to be like a Sith mind, like to not take over him in the council, take over the Senate side of things and the political side of things. He was just trained to be a weapon.
To kick ass.
To be a weapon.
Which is what he did.
And I think, the more I think about it, I think a lot of people initially will be like, Boba Fett for sure, because you have favoritism, and I agree with that. But I think Darth Maul, he is a trained weapon that has the force that was trained by Emperor Palpatine. That,
Clean sweep here, kind of a surprise. Maul. But
I think
No, go for it.
I think if you really think about it, it makes sense.
Hey, it's a bit of an upset when you think about it.
I mean, when you do think about it as well.
You're wavering?
Well, I don't know.
You wavering?
Maul has the one weapon, which is probably one of the coolest weapons in the world.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen really how he flies in a ship.
Sure.
And if he can maneuver like that.
And Fett knows that.
And Fett has taken out a lot of people.
He's got a lot of weaponry.
In space. Yeah. He's got a
Wookiee
jetpack.
braid. He's got a Wookiee braid. He's done some Wookiee killing.
Yep. He's probably got a higher kill count.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm just, for the other people playing at home, I'm just trying to
You're putting both sides out there.
Another side here. He's got great weapons.
I think we've put it out there for the fans for you to put the fate in your hand. So as Maude said, it's going to be on Facebook. Go to our Facebook page, Jedi Alliance on the Schmoes Know Network, and weigh in your decision. Who is the better assassin, Boba Fett or Boba Fett and Darth Maul? And of course, you can also join the conversation on Twitter, hashtag Jedi Alliance, tweet at Ken Knapsack, at Maude Garrett, or at Chris Stuckmann for this week's conversation. And give us what you feel. Debate it, have fun, be respectful, but go at it. Fight over who you think.
Totally want to dress up as Darth Maude for Halloween.
Nice.
Or Darth Mash if you're in the Disney gift store outside of Star Wars. Darth Mash, the potato head Darth Maul. You laughing in there, JTE? Because you bought that. You bought that. So that is Duel of Fates for this week. Before we end the show, though, we want to hand...
we got one more.
Oh, no, I'm not... Oh, yeah, I know. No, I'm saying before we close today, we're going to do our favorite segment, Four Stone.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah, and Chris...
I thought he was going to finish this.
No, not yet. Chris is going to lead us through Forced On, and when I emailed you and said, hey, would you like to... You were like, boom, got it.
Yep, absolutely.
That email shot back before we even pressed send. So lead us through Forced On this week. This is where we take a part of the Star Wars universe and force it on you.
A game that I played more times than I can remember as a child and still play as an adult because... That's just what I do with my spare time, is Shadows of the Empire.
Love it.
For the Nintendo 64. It was also on the PC, but I never played it on the PC. This is based off of the book, which was very successful, one of the most successful of the expanded universe. There was a young adult novelization of it, as well as an adult novelization.
Is any of it canon?
That I don't know.
I don't believe so at this point in time.
Right.
Dash Rendar is probably not canon.
Which is unfortunate. He was basically like a Han Solo clone, kind of. But
you said Han Solo without going Han Solo.
Well, I did silently.
Okay.
Inside.
You didn't see what's going on down here.
Yeah. There's a table, so you can't see my. On the Guilty Pleasure podcast, we talked about David Bowie's bulge during
Labyrinth.
During Labyrinth.
You can't. I have no idea what color his eyes are.
Yeah. You remind me of a man. What man? There's a man here. Oh, there's a man there. Anyway, Shadows of the Empire.
Absolutely, I played it all the time. It was kind of it's a character Dash Rendar.
Yeah.
And in the game, he's kind of like Han Solo times 10.
Yeah.
Wow.
He has a droid counterpart instead of a Wookiee.
Yeah.
He fights IG-88 and wins. And by the way,
Pretty badass.
one of the scariest bosses I've ever fought in an N64 game was IG-88.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
You're running around and he has a jetpack. He can fly anywhere, but he makes this sound that's like a mashing of metals. And if you hear it, you know you're going to die, because if he hits you like twice, you die.
What is IG?
IG-88's a bounty hunter who
88.
makes a brief appearance in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
He
Which
has
one's that one?
a
Big, tall
cylindrical head.
Robot, one eye.
Yes, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm back in.
And
Great.
he makes this sound like it's like that, and it's like this metal gearing sound. And if you hear that, you're dead.
You did. And I love that game because it started on Hoth. And it was the first time you really had a chance to get in a snowspeeder and fight those walkers, AT-ATs, AT-ATs, whatever you want to call them. You got to fight them for like the first time real,
Right.
if you're not counting the Atari game in 82, which had little 2-bit graphics going around. And it was awesome to kind of swirl around. You had to do the cable and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it starts out with the Battle of Hoth, and that was before the Rogue Squadron games, which really went forth with the flying and all that.
Yeah.
It had flying. It had mostly running levels, though.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the main villain of the Shadows of the Empire was Prince Xizor.
Yep.
With Xisor.
Something like that.
And I remember when I was a kid, but this was before the internet. It was like, well, the internet was around, but we didn't have it in the mid '90s. And I was actually like, I did legit book research on how to pronounce his name.
How to pronounce it?
I couldn't just type in pronunciation of X. Like I
awesome.
actually figured out how to pronounce it and everything. And I still have the action figures too of him. And I have
right.
in the book, but not in the game. Chewie goes into some sort of disguise where he like shaves his head crew cut.
Yep.
And I have
What
the
a
action
legend.
figure of that.
It's
And
awesome.
It's amazing.
As we wrap this up there, what was the last time you played that game? When was the last time you experienced it?
This year.
Wow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's one player though, isn't it?
I believe it is.
yeah.
That is the reason why I did not play it on
Yeah.
Nintendo 64, because we could only ever play the games on holidays, vacation.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I have 2 older brothers, so if it was
Couldn't
one
do it.
player, we would not buy it.
Gotcha.
That's why I am very fluent in Pod Racer 64.
That's right. One of my
Great
favorite
game.
moments of the game is when you'd open up a door and there'd be these like wampas. And you'd have
Yep.
to like shoot the wampas and they'd come at you like that.
You get bonus points for removing one arm.
Yeah, you do it. Thanks so much, Chris, for leading us through Forced On. Shadows of the Empire, Nintendo 64 is a great Star Wars game.
I love it.
Great memories.
Did you
from
play
our
Pod
childhood.
Racer? Am I
I
alone?
own it.
No.
Oh, great.
I played it.
I own every
cool.
Star Wars game, I think, almost.
Wow.
That's good. That's impressive. We'll go to Chris's house tonight and play.
Most impressive.
Most impressive. So that has been Jedi Alliance for this week. It's been a fun-filled, fast-paced episode. I don't know what you were drinking before you got here, but I loved it.
I
Let's
keep
do
cupping.
it again. Let's do it again. Chris, so happy to have you on. Of course, you can find Chris on YouTube at Chris Stuckmann. And of course, your YouTube channel, which is
Chris Stuckmann.
great branding there.
Consistency is key.
That's right. And you can watch us on YouTube as well, with the show. It's available on the Schmoes No Podcast YouTube channel, youtube.com/Schmoes No Podcast. And don't forget to catch us on iTunes.
Yes, it gets uploaded a little bit after. You'll find it on YouTube. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe, do all those beautiful things. We like to read all of those, and it's so positive and lovely, and it makes my day.
And catch all the other shows, Profiles, Guilty Pleasures, Meet the Movie Press, Marvel News, and the Schmoes No Main Show every Thursday live, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Before, though, JT, I want to do a quick In Memory, though. We still got to do our In Memory. And this week, we've got, we're going to pay our respects to the fallen handmaiden, Corday from Attack of the Clones. See? That's while I was watching it. When you sign up to be a decoy for Padme Amidala Naberi Skywalker, you do so knowing that one day you may pay the ultimate price. As the elected Queen of Naboo, Amidala had several handmaidens at her side that would more often than not stand in for her due to their uncanny resemblance to the young politician. Sabe was her most trusted and used handmaiden throughout her reign as queen. When Queen Amidala became Senator Padme Naberi Skywalker, she added a new swath of handmaidens into her service, and Corday became her #1 decoy, and that was the job Corday was doing when a Nubian cruiser landed on Coruscant shortly before the start of the Clone Wars. With the senator disguised as a fighter pilot, Corday took her place on the cruiser. While exiting the cruiser with another handmaiden and 5 guards, an explosion, later learned to be a bomb placed by assassin Zam Wessel, ripped apart the landing deck. All would die in the blast, but Corday remained alive just long enough for Padme to run to her side. Padme's stiff, almost emotionless reaction belied the heartbreak it caused her. Yes, Corday did her job. And handmaidens are more than just decoys. They become trusted confidants and, yes, friends for very important people who are often isolated because of their positions. Corday's death weighed heavily on Padme, though you couldn't tell it from her face. But Corday had done her job. By standing in the senator's place, doing her job, Corday allowed Padme to go on and play a big part in the coming war. Corday's final words were a pained apology to her friend and senator. But there's no need to apologize, Corday. You paid the ultimate price because it was your job to do so. We thank you from Jedi Alliance.
Thank you so much for watching this particular episode. Don't forget to subscribe, etc. to everything. We do have a Facebook page. Search the Jedi Alliance on Schmoes No Network. And we have an Instagram as well. Use that hashtag Jedi Alliance if you want to converse on Twitter. And don't forget, many Bothans died to bring us this information. Later.
From producers Christian Harloff, Mark Ellis, and the entire Schmoes No Network crew, we would like to thank you for listening to the Jedi Alliance on the Schmoes No Network. Special thanks to Kevin Undergaro and Maria Menounos, the author of Every Girl's Guide to Diet and Fitness, in stores now. To watch or listen to other Schmoes No Network episodes, get movie news, and join the conversation, be sure to visit schmoesno.com and find the Jedi Alliance on iTunes and subscribe, rate, and review. I'm the Pit Boss, and this has been a presentation of Schmoes No